Welcome back to Take Up Political Panel Time. Isn't it exciting? I believe it is. Democratic strategist, CBS News political contributor Joel Payne, Republican strategist T.W. Arrighi. Great to have you here, gentlemen. Let's talk about Gavin Newsom, because it's an iron rule of this program. If I go to break before this segment and talk about it, we must talk about it. So I said Gavin Newsom. Axios says today that Newsom has spent the last 18 months, you can bring that up, control room, courting Biden and his family, publicly defending the ex-president's legacies as others have distanced themselves. Among the things that Governor Gavin Newsom says, I'll never turn my back on Joe Biden, one of the most successful presidents in the last century, masterclass of policymaking. Joel, while many Democrats run away from Biden, Gavin Newsom, I guess, feels he has no choice but to embrace what he said before and hold it into the future.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think feeling like, well, I'm already pot committed on Biden, so might as well. I'd also say one other thing.
Because if he tried to distance himself, all of his rivals and me and you, and it would say, well, how about this quote? How about this quote? How about this quote? Which stack up this high?
The political analysis that I would apply to this is there's one group of voters that Joe Biden, my suspicion is still pretty popular with, and it's black voters in the Democratic primary. And my guess is that Gavin Newsom feels like, hey, I want to make sure that those voters understand that I see the same political environment that they do. Joe Biden, my guess, would be rates pretty high with those group of voters than the rest of the Democratic
And when I talk to people in the Democratic Party who try to assess strengths and weaknesses for Gavin Newsom, when they bring up weaknesses, they say a potential problem with African-American voters, male and female.
That's right. That's right. I think that's completely right. I think the twist that he's going to have to deal with here is there's a very engaged group of online, organized, rank-and-file, progressive folks who show up in primaries who are not in those kind of southern states where it tends to be more heavily African-American voters who probably are not going to want to relitigate Biden.
TW, you don't need to spend a lot of time on this, but you're like, keep going, sir.
Absolutely. Look, there is something to be said that Joe Biden did win and put together a coalition of black voters, Latino voters, working-class voters that got him over the finish line in 2020. But there is a quote of Gavin Newsom's after the debate when the whole world, if they didn't know it already, saw what President Biden was dealing with in his mental decline, saying he's as sharp as ever, he should be our nominee, et cetera, just not sort of speaking the reality that everyone else saw. He's going to have to still answer for that. So why he wants to keep bringing it up when he's on record saying that is curious.
Yeah, but you're not going to use that against him.
Oh, yes, we will.
I also mentioned this before we went to break, so we got to mention it. This is just happening, playing out on social media right now. Ro Khanna, Democratic member of Congress, and Elon Musk are in a bit of a fracas on X because Elon Musk has been on a torrent of things calling him a robber, time to sue this liar, wants to put him in jail for all sorts of things that Ro Khanna has said about Elon Musk. This got Ro Khanna's attention so much so that he posted, guess what, a social media video. Control room, take it away.
You know, Elon, I thought you were a free speech guy. Why not debate me on these issues instead of threatening lawfare? You're not going to be able to intimidate me. I'm the guy who stood up to the Epstein class and worked with Massey to get the Epstein files released.
Why this catches my eye, TW, is because Ro Khanna is making it clear that he is at least considering running in 2028 in the progressive lane. He wants a fight with Elon right now.
I thought you were going to say it's because George Santos came to Ro Khanna's defense, which was a little curious. But you're totally right. You want to go pick a fight with this guy with the biggest platform, at least on X, who's going to get you that media attention. I understand Elon Musk wanting to defend Doge, and I understand Ro Khanna throwing out crazy numbers about deaths related to
4.5 million, he says,
right, which
is a result of Doge cuts to USAID.
Which is one study's projection over a long period of time. Be that what it may, that's not the point. I actually do think they should debate. There's few people who can defend Doge as well as Elon Musk. I'm all for that transfer of ideas. Ro Khanna is a good debater. I'd like to see him go at it.
Ro's a Silicon Valley guy, and my guess is that part of this is Ro, along with going after that progressive lane, also I think trying to represent Democrats being able to maybe appeal to and speak to folks that I imagine Elon Musk might have a little bit more influence with. So I'm sure he doesn't mind the fight. And if you can't pick a fight with the president, the next best person to pick a fight with is the person who's the first trillionaire in the history of the world.
And you know, gents, the UFC thing is still kind of up on the South Lawn.
Go for it. My money's on
pay-per-view, whatever, you know. See, look, you see, it's not all there, but there's enough remnants of it. Yeah. Maybe we can get something going there. That's just an idea. Joel Payne, T.W. Arrighi, thanks for playing. I appreciate it as always.